everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. I'm your host, Leslie, and today is September 19th, 2012. As you can tell, today is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr! Alright, I know that was corny, but I had to. It was fun. It's not every day where you can go around going arr and people are like arr right back and you get them the stink eye, and it's been fun, let me tell you. Alright, so welcome, and for those of you who are returning viewers, thank you very much for coming back. And for those of you who are new, I hope you enjoy what you see and you come back next week, because I think I have a lot of fun. So I hope you do too. First of all, if there's anything that you see on the show that interests you, like patterns or vendors or anything like that, if you want to get in touch with me and get to know me a little bit better, you can find links to the show notes to where you get to vote, and all my other little stuff on my blog, which is myordinaryjourney.com. It's all one word right there, up there somewhere. It's not right here. I love post-production. It magically appears. So anyway, I wanted to thank welcome some new folks to our Ravelry group. All right, guys. We went over 100 new members this week. I was doing the happy dance. I was so thrilled. So I think we're up to 105. So like I said, at 150, I'll have a giveaway for that milestone. So right now, we had a ton of new folks come on board, which makes me very happy. So let's get started. We have Calico Kitty 6. And that is Debbie. We have Annette K18, and that is Annette. Fleece Friend is Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary is one of my real life friends, and she lives in Fredericksburg here, so hi, Mary. Last Knit 2 is Lisa. Tabby is Tara. And Mary Knits is Mary. Now, Mary, when I first saw your name, I wasn't thinking because of the Z's, and I thought, Mary Knits, wow, what a name. And then I realized, no, it's Mary Knits. I'm with you sometimes. And if you hear weird noises today, I have the windows open, which is delightful. The washing machine is going, and I have a cat somewhere hiding in my workroom. She got locked in, and I'm not going to chase her out, so it might get interesting. So, we do have 2 birthdays this week. First is Lube, and that is Steph. Welcome back from New Zealand. I hope you enjoyed your trip. I know I'm very, very jealous. And Kelly Joe Girl, and that is Kelly. So, happy birthday, ladies. I know what it's like, so I hope you got to celebrate and have something nice. Okay, so I have a question of the week this week, and it was partly inspired by my friend Courtney, partly inspired by my husband, and really it kind of dawned on me when I saw Gnome Acres Amanda, her shop update last week. She does a colorway called Codex, and I don't know if you all know the backstory for that, but when I saw that, it made me chuckle because I am a huge fan of the Guild, and I am a huge fan of the Guild because I used to play WoW. For those of you who don't know, WoW is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, a World of Warcraft. It's huge. So I played WoW for several years. I was not hardcore, but I would frequently stay up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning going on raids with my team. And my husband played too, so we played, and I stopped playing. I had to. It was just getting too much, and I replaced that with my knitting and my spinning. So I think I'm more productive this way. But anyway, that's the background for the question of the week. So the question of the week is, Are you a gamer? And if so, what do you play? I've noticed a lot of folks talking about their geekdom and kind of being nerdy, and it just astounds me about how many knitters and crocheters and spinners are also slightly geeky. I'm not sure why. As technologically focused as a lot of us are, I mean, we are really techie type people. I don't know if it's just getting back to something more simple, being able to do something that doesn't require electricity. I think that's what it is for me. So anyway, yes, are you a gamer, and if so, what do you play? And the answer, for my answer this week is yes, I used to play World of Warcraft. I was a Shadow Priest. I loved playing my Shadow spec, but I was also a Holy Priest. I had a dual spec, so I could flip back and forth, and I would do that depending on the situation. So let me know if you're a gamer now, and that's not just World of Warcraft. Are you Nintendo? Are you Xbox? Do you play Halo? Are you a big EverQuest nut? Do you like, what's some of the games? I don't know, do you like sports games? Do you play Madden or NCAA football or hockey, baseball? Just let me know. I'd like to kind of see what kind of flavor is out there. All right, everybody. So this is the knitting game. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, a little background about what the knitting game is. I was sitting in my workroom here one afternoon, and I noticed that I had all these knitting books that I had invested a lot of money into, but I was not using. So I decided when I wanted to do a podcast that I would use my books. And what I do is I pick a book. For instance, this month I am going to go back to my books, because in the past I've been using some other resources. But for this month, this book, it's Weekend Hats. It is a compilation of designers, and it's done from Interweave Press. And it's hats, all right? Any kind of hat you want. So we're gonna go with hats this month. I told you last week I was probably gonna do hats. So we're gonna do hats, everybody. Yay! And why hats? Well, it's beautiful outside. It's getting to be fall. Everybody's itching to start their seasonal knitting for Christmas and that sort of thing. So hats are a really good way to use up what you have in your stash, and most of the time they are pretty quick knits. So hats naturally lend themselves to gift giving, I think. They're not quite as futzy and things like that. Like a sweater takes time. A shawl can take time. A hat, you can use big needles, big yarn, and knock them out. So we're gonna go with hats. Alrighty, so this is going to be round 1. I'm only going to do 4 rounds like in the past because I'm using the book. So you're going to have a chance to see 5 different patterns out of the book. Alright, so the first hat up for bid, oh, I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. The first hat up for a vote this go around of the knitting game is the Everdeen beanie. And that is going to go up against, I hope I didn't pronounce this wrong, and I should have had my kids look at it because they're in German class, both of them, but the Glashut hat. Okay, so the Everdeen beanie and the Glashut hat. Some information about those. Hopefully this will come up. Usually in my show notes I already have a little tidbit of information about the needle size and the yarn size and everything. I forgot to put that on there. So as I'm talking to you now, I'm pulling up the Ravelry page on my tab, and I hope that it goes much faster because it is going very, very slow. All right, so the Everdeen hat, which is the hat that is actually pictured on the front here. So it's got some interesting sideways looking cable things. I have no idea if it's constructed in the round or flat or how it's put together. So it'll be a surprise. It requires or calls for DK weight yarn on size 6 needles, and the hat in the picture is knit using the Malabrigo yarn Silky Merino. So it's on the chunkier side. I do have some DK weight yarn in my stash, so that'll be good if I can get and use that. Alright, so that was the Everdeen hat. Now let's look at the Glashütte hat. Alright, the Glashütte hat, that is a fingering weight yarn, size 2 and size 4 needles, and you need about 318 yards. So, and it's got a little pom-pom on top. I think that's fun, and I do have a pom-pom maker, so I can make pom-poms. My kids like the pom-poms just to have around. I use them as Christmas decorations. I get the little votive holders, like the round cheap ones from IKEA, and they're 99 cents or something, maybe even a quarter now, and you make the little pom-poms with that Vanna White glittery yarn, and you put the little pom-pom in the little candle holder, tea light holder, votive holder, and I just put them on top of the fireplace in between the stocking holders. You didn't know I was Martha Stewart in disguise, did you? It's not quite a good thing as her things, but it's fun. Alright, so I have no idea where I'm going with that today. Voting for the first round of the weekend hat knitting game will close on or about September 26th at 3 p.m. It'll close on September 26th at about 3 p.m. And if you're wondering what the problem is, I have something on my eyelashes and I can see it. It's just very bizarre. It's a little unnerving when you're looking at the camera. So anyway, alright, some updates. I haven't worked on the Sayuri sweater again this week. I've got so many other projects that are so much, I don't know, more intricate and lively that I don't really have a lot of time to knit anymore. So I have to really be careful and conscious of how I spend my knitting time. And I just haven't gotten enough oomph to get back to the sweater. But with the Easy 100th anniversary camping half circle shawl, which was the winner from last time, I'm in the process of picking my yarn. I know what color I want. I want a specific color. And I'm thinking I might actually find the yarn and dye it myself. Find a natural yarn and do the dyeing myself. I have done some dyeing, so it's not a foreign concept to me. So I was thinking about giving that a shot. Since I'm not going to be spinning the yarn, it would be nice if, you know, I was involved in the process some other way. If not, if I decide to go the road of buying the yarn pre-dyed, it would definitely be an independent dyer, and I have a few in mind that really have the colors that I'm looking for. So it's just a matter of what I decide to do. Okay, so on to my works in progress for my other knitting, for my other stuff. My first shawl, my prairie shawl, my 10 and 2010 shawl, I haven't worked on that at all this week. I've had, like I said, some other projects that have really tickled my fancy, and I have really enjoyed knitting on some of this other stuff, and I'll get to that now. What I'm calling my RGB color affection is coming along. That's, yeah, if you want to know, that's what's really been, I'm having fun with this. So here we go. This is my RGB color affection. I'm using Knit Picks palette yarn in the Autumn Heather, the Marine Heather, and the Aurora Heather colorways. They're all heathered. The Autumn Heather is kind of like a rust color and it has a little green in it. The Marine Heather is a nice deep sapphire blue with some flecks of green in it. And the green is obviously green and it's got more flecks of green in it. So it's coming along. I'm on the third out of, I guess, 4 row sections. But I'm halfway done. I've gotten 4 of the short row repeats finished. So I'm hoping that this weekend I'll be able to have this finished. Now, I know as I go along, it's going to be more and more and more, but I don't think that that's going to slow me down really that much. So I'm really having fun with that. I'm using size 6, 40-inch Chow red lace needles for those. Now, my other project that I have been cranking on is my Steeler socks. Now, here is sock number 1. And I have just been going to town on this baby. Now, I wasn't going to do an afterthought heel. I was going to do a gusset with a heel flap. And I decided that, no, I didn't. I wanted to preserve the striping. So I went ahead and I put in the afterthought heel in the middle of my black stripe there. Not really sure what possessed me to put it in the middle of a black stripe, since it's going to be horribly hard to try to pick up my stitches. But I'm going to roll with it. So I had already started knitting and I had to do the math. So I wound off, it's 400 yards, it's a 100-gram ball. It's Fiber Nymph, by the way. Fiber Nymph Dye Works. It's on her bounce base and it's her Bumblebee colorway. So I wound off 25 grams of the 100-gram ball, and that's what I'm going to use for the heel. I'm sure I've overestimated here, but that's good. I don't want to run out. So that left me with 300 grams. Yes, 300 grams. I had already started working, so I wound off what I needed left. No, not 300 grams. I'm thinking 300 yards. It was 100 grams, so I had 75 grams left. Half of 75 is like 36 or something. So this is about 36 grams of yarn for the other foot. So, and then this is all I have left for this sock. So, and I only do them one at a time. But what I am going to do is I'm going to knit the other sock before I go and tackle the heels. So I'm going to just stick the afterthought heel in. And what I did is right after I finished with this black stripe where the heel was, I finished that out and I went ahead and started it, and it's just a 2x2 rib. Now, I hate ribbing, so I don't know what possessed me to do a crap ton of 2x2 rib, but it did. I did, and it is. So these are my Steeler socks, and they're for a friend of mine who really is, she's from Pittsburgh, and she likes the Steelers. So I figured this would be an appropriate Christmas gift. So that is that. So my Steeler socks, again, are on my bounce, my Fiber Nymph Bumblebee on her bounce base, and it is, I'm using size 1.5 Knit Pick needles. So that's that. Alright, so moving on to my spinning. Let's go with this. I finished the first 4 ounces. I don't know where the beginning went. It's right around here someplace. Somewhere. Oh well. I'll find it. There we go. Like you all really need to hear me talk to myself. Anyway, so I finished the first 4 ounces here of the Falkland from Gnome Acres. This is in her Loki colorway, and if you can kind of see, there's a little bit of yellow popping through here. So the colorway obviously is based on one of the Avenger characters, or characters in one of the Avenger movies and comics, Loki. So it's kind of like, it's a steel blue, almost a gray, with this really light pale yellow and a sagey green. So this stuff is amazing to spin. It just spun up so beautifully. And what I did is, for the first 4 ounces, I spun the braid just as it was. I didn't break it down, I didn't rip it apart, I didn't pre-draft it, I didn't do anything. That's how nice this stuff is. You can spin it and you don't have to futz around with it. It is just beautiful stuff. So I got that done. Then I had my second braid of the Gnome Acres Falkland in the Loki colorway. And I broke that down into fourths, and not true fourths. I just pulled it apart I pulled it apart in half, and then I pulled it apart in another half. So each section should be about 1/4 of the braid. I've got the first 1/4 spun, so I guess about the first ounce. And hopefully when I ply them, I'm going to do a 2-ply. I ply them together, and I'm hoping that they turn out into a roughly a sport weight, heavy fingering weight yarn. And I'm going to do fingerless gloves and maybe a scarf or something for my daughter, because she loves Loki. So there is that. I did do some other kind of just whatever type spinning this week. In my loop bat, Steph put in one of the spontaneous spinning cloud samples, just a little bit of fiber, and I went ahead and I spun that on my trindle that I picked up from Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I spun it up in no particular manner. I just kind of let it go and do its thing. If it's thick, it's thick. If it's thin, it's thin. I don't know what I'll use it for, but it was just nice to get it on the trindle and use that. And it's very soft and spongy here on the cop. It's nice and squishy. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do some monster. I'm not a big monster knitter, but you never know. You could use it for something. Alright, there was one more stash expansion that came last week, and it came the day after I recorded, so I didn't get to share it. But let me tell you, I don't know how I scored this. I just, on a whim, went to Highland Handmaids and just said, let me see what she's got. And let me tell you something, folks, I scored hardcore. Yes, that's right. I got a braid of the old appliances colorway, and oh my gosh, it's Polworth, and you know, the puffy Polworth. This stuff feels amazing, and the colors, let me tell you, I am a child of the 70s. I grew up in the 80s. And this just takes me back like you don't know. The nostalgia factor is just out of this world. But beyond that, the actual colors themselves, taken out of context, are beautiful together. And it's a wonderful, it looks like it would make a wonderful fall type, I don't know, hat, gloves, a scarf. I don't know. I need to learn to weave so I can use up all my hand spun stuff, because it's crazy. But yes, this stuff is so pretty. If I could wear it like this, I would. But yeah, I don't know how I scored it, but luck was on my side that day, because that is some good stuff. Yep, it's the Pitch Pine Top and the Old Appliances colorway. 4 ounces of pretty Polworth. Alrighty, so the last part of the show, I'm going to talk about some events that are going on. This is by no means, we've got a big fiber heavy featured fall here in the Fredericksburg area. And if that is not enough alliteration for you, I'm sorry. But we've got the Fall Fiber Festival in Montpelier, Virginia, the first weekend of October. I'm going to be there as one of the demonstrators spinning for the crowd. Then we also have the second annual Let's Stitch event hosted by the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild, and that's October 13th. And that's a charity event where we get all of our yarn and needles and hat patterns and glove patterns and mitten patterns and scarf patterns together, and we go to our guild spaces down at the Libertytown Arts Workshop in downtown Fredericksburg, and we spend the day knitting for charity. So if you're in the area, come on down. We could use your help. If you're not in the area and you would love to help out, please contact me. We need yarn and we need needles. If you want to send it to me, I'll be glad to give you my address, or you can send it directly to the guild spaces at Libertytown. I can give you that address too. Just get in touch with me and I'd be happy to help you out. In addition to that, the guild, the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild, turns 30 this year, and we are having a fiber show at the Fredericksburg Area Museum. Not only that, but the University of Mary Washington is also having a fiber exposition. That's like expedition, but that's not the word I want to use. Anyway, they're going to be featuring fiber artists from the school. We're also going to have the Quilt Roadshow, the National Quilt Roadshow. So we've got quilters, we've got fiber artists of all makes and models, we've got fiber events, yarn bombings, all sorts of fun and fabulous fibery fall things in Fredericksburg. So if you want any more information on any of those events, just go to the show notes. I've got links to all the fun stuff happening here in the area. And it's a great time to be a fiber artist here in Fredericksburg. It's just amazing. Everything that's going on. A little bit of something for everyone. Well, guys, that's all I have for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, voting for the weekend hats knitting game round 1 closes September 26th on or about 3 p.m. So until next week, I hope you guys have a great, fibery, yarny, good week. And don't forget to vote. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.